Welcome to Airplane Manager. If you're watching this, you've just gained access to the most powerful flight department management platform available. I know you're eager to see what Airplane Manager can do for your operation, so let's get you up and running quickly. In the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through everything you need to start managing your flight department like a pro. Here's exactly what we'll accomplish together. First, we'll register your aircraft. Then, we'll add a pilot or scheduler to the system. Finally, we'll look at some key settings to get you flying. When you're done with this video, the next lesson in this series will show you how to create your first flight. By the end of this series, you'll be confidently navigating Airplane Manager and ready to transform how you manage your flight department. Let's jump right in. First, let's get you logged in. You can log in by visiting airplanemanager.com and clicking Login, or by typing corp.airplanemanager.com into your address bar. Go ahead and enter the credentials you signed up with now. Pro tip: Airplane Manager works great on mobile devices. If you're on your phone or tablet, I'll show you a quick trick. After you're logged in, tap the Share button and select Add to Home Screen. This creates an app-like experience without downloading anything from the App Store or requiring updates. Great! Now let's set up your operation. You'll land on Airplane Manager's calendar page. Don't worry about all of these different options right now. We'll focus on the essentials. Let's start by adding our first aircraft to the system. Hover over Aircraft in the menu, then click Aircraft. This takes us to the aircraft page. There's nothing here right now, so let's add our first aircraft. Let's click the green Add Aircraft button in the top right. The first aircraft you add to your account comes with the cost of the software, but any additional aircraft will be billed at the appropriate rate for your account plan. If you're on a trial period, you don't have to worry about that now. If you'd like to review our pricing, you can check that at airplanemanager.com, then click Corporate or Charter in the nav bar to see our pricing options. Back to the aircraft. Click the I Understand button. First, let's enter the aircraft's tail number, then hit Next. Next is the aircraft type. It's important that the information we enter through these pages is accurate, as it will help us determine a lot of information for you. We'll select mid-size jet for this video. The next field is the Flight Planning Identifier. You can start typing the make, model, or identifier to search for the appropriate identifier for your aircraft. Once you've found and selected it, click Next. On this screen, you can use our color picker to select a color for the aircraft. This will color the event an aircraft is assigned to on the calendar. Go ahead and pick one and then click Next again. On this final screen, you'll see a video which will show you how to set your starting values for your aircraft through your first flight log. We can return to that video later after we've learned more of the system and have the account set up for your first flight. Click Save Done, and you'll return to the aircraft page. You'll see a status light next to the aircraft. If any due items approach their due date, this will turn yellow. If that due item expires, it will turn red. Let's click the Edit button to add more details to the aircraft. If we open Aircraft Profile, you'll see some details have been filled in based on the identifier we selected. Feel free to make any changes if these values do not apply to your aircraft. Let's open Flight Log Settings next. This will let you choose what fields are on your flight log. The only really required field is flight hours, which will always be there. Go through and mark or unmark any fields you want to. You can also add 2 additional miscellaneous info columns if there is anything you want to track that we don't include. If you want pilots to sign off the flight log for each leg of the journey, you can check that setting here. The other areas here that will help the system make calculations for you are fuel and fuel burn, fixed operating costs, and performance. We recommend going through these areas and filling out the fields so these calculations are accurate. You can adjust staff permissions, enable flight plan filing and eAPIS integrations, and add notes, documents, or upload images with the rest of this profile. Let's move on for now. The next thing we'll do is add your chief pilot to the system. Hover over People in the navigation bar, then click on Staff. Right now, this page is empty, so let's fix that. Click on the green Add User button in the top right. The first step will be adding their first and last name. Let's enter that now. Next is their email address. This will be the email they use to sign in and will receive notifications from the system. Next is marking the option to log in or not. You might want staff in the system that you can assign to flights for informational purposes, but not provide account access for. We're going to leave this checked for this user. Next, you can set an initial password for the user. They will receive a welcome email with instructions on how to reset their password once they've logged into the system for the first time. Finally, we select their user roles. Let's talk about the different roles for a minute. Admins have full access to every page within the system. It's what you might expect for an admin. A pilot without admin access won't have full access to the whole system. They'll be focused on flight pages and logging information. A scheduler will be able to create and edit flights, a bit more privileged than the other staff roles, but they won't have the ability to make changes to some of the admin settings or to view administrative reports. Attendants will be able to view flight, crew, and passenger information, but won't be able to make changes within the system. Maintenance mostly have view access as well, but also have the ability to create maintenance reports for things like discrepancies and due items. They can also fill out flight logs. A view-only account is what it sounds like. An account that can only view the calendar and flights they have access to. This is commonly used for executive assistants or owners who want to be involved. Accountants get access to the expenses and invoice areas of Airplane Manager that other crew do not. Finally, medical gets very little access, similar to the attendant role. The final step will be to assign what aircraft they have access to. Let's make sure our aircraft is checked. We could continue to their user profile to fill out their details, but we'll cover that later. Let's hit Save/Done for now. Before we finish, let's briefly go over the settings area. Just mouse over Settings and let's select General first. You'll likely want to go through each of these settings pages to configure the system to accommodate your flight department's requirements. We'll explore this part of the system in detail in another video. For our most immediate needs, you'll want to fill out your flight department information under General, Flight Department. This will show on trip sheets and itineraries and contains the primary contact email for the account. You can also upload a logo for those documents here. Going to the billing page next is where you'll add your payment information for when your trial expires or to change or cancel your plan. Next, you should step through the options under Flight. Flight General sets up some automation options. Check any you would like. Checklist allows you to make a custom checklist of items that users must go through for a flight to be completed. You can require users to acknowledge that they've looked at the flight and can confirm its details. You can assign specific roles to individual checklist items, making it so only those user types can check off an item. If you'd like to log duty time in our system, you'll want to look at the settings under that section. Flight Release is a powerful tool you can enable that allows admins and schedulers to create and edit flights before anyone else can see them, preventing notifications from going out until the release has occurred. This is helpful if trip details or crew assignments are difficult to finalize. You can also create an additional checklist here that must be completed before the flight is released. Tags is a helpful area if you want to leverage our reporting tools, giving you additional ways to filter flights or legs. You'll also want to look through all the trip sheet and itinerary settings to make sure the info you want included on these items is presented the way you would like. We ultimately encourage you to go through every settings page to explore what the system can do for you and to tailor your experience to your flight department. We'll cover more of these areas in another video, but for now, you should be ready to create your first flight in our next lesson. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.